think about my dad, I think about friendship. His brothers and sisters were his friends, and that's what he taught us. And when I look at my brothers and sisters, even I think of friends. And when I run into one of my aunts or uncles, it's not, I know it's blood and they're my aunt and mom, but it's like my dad. These are my friends.
I'm sure there's a lot of friends out there that he couldn't make it here for him.
Absolutely. And my dad would do anything for his friends. And he did. And he made us do stuff for his friends too. But when I look at my brothers and sisters and I see their friends, and I look at my friends, I think this is what my dad's talking about. He taught us what real friends are. And my friend Rusty came, and wasn't even a little bit surprised. So, that's it.
I moved to next door to Jerry and Kathy when I was 16 years old. I'm 52 now, so multiple years I've known the family. Jerry was, my father wasn't around, he was my father. He accepted my dad for who he was. Everybody knows my dad, and he can be very difficult. But they always stayed friends. And that's the biggest thing that I can always really say. But he was like a father to me. When my dad wasn't around, he would help me. He helped my brother when they had the trucking company move. They were family. And they will always be family. So I really appreciate everything that they've done for me in my life. And this is... But I just want to say, he was a wonderful man, and I love him very much. Just as much as I love my father. So, really what I gotta say, that's the most important thing. We can go into little things like how they taught Sean to pee against the wall when we all were playing horseshoes in the backyard. And all that stuff, and Kathy knows. They went out there and they were drinking and that. Sean, go get me a beer, and he's like 5 years old, running around, getting them beer and whatever. But he was that type of person. So, and the house was always open to my children. And it was like holidays. There was no difference between families. It was one family. It really was. And you don't know how much I appreciate that in my life. It made me different. It made me feel good.
I remember the first time that Jerry and Kathy, and I think they had 7 kids, came to see Mom and Dad from California, way out in California, and they had a camper, and I think they were going to surprise them. So they drove up, and Mom and Dad came out the door. They lived in Coleridge then. They had moved from the farm. And so Kathy got out, Jerry got out. They opened the back of the camper doors. And here comes all the kids. And Mom and Dad are standing there with their mouths open. Because it was a surprise.
53 years ago, I moved in with Kathy and Jerry. She was 2 years into her 12-year stint of not wearing anything but a smock. Went through having 9 children. I found out today that I'm an uncle of 2 extra ones. I never heard of it. I remember after 2.5 years, Jerry made me go to work for his trucking company so I could afford my own place to move out. I'm actually here to do a public service announcement. That is, there's a car in the parking lot, an Obama license plate, 4 flat tires, and 2 broken windows.
Hi, I'm Tina. I'm this daughter-in-law. I'm married with John, not with Kyle. Anyway, what I remember about that is we come out here and we go golfing. And he told me one time, he said, we're gonna go golfing with my friend Pete. And he said that I think you can beat him. But don't tell him about it, okay? We'll give him a break today. So anyway, we've been golfing with Dad, and I always call him Shorty because I have more advantage teeing off from his tee box. And every time I call him Shorty, he go and run over my ball, and he said, "You're gonna, you know, hit it from where it lays." So I said, "Okay, Dad." So he never take the golf, you know, playing golf seriously when we play with us. But when we play with his friends, he take it seriously. And that's how I remember Dad. And, you know, he always made cookies and breakfast.
Father's Day, we went shopping for my dad, and he's really hard to buy for because he buys anything he wants when he sees it. So Dwayne found a hole-in-one little thing where you dig out a hole in your yard and you put it, and it had a flag. And he opened it, and he's like, where am I going to put it? Because, you know, there's rocks out back. They live in the desert. He's like, does Dwayne know that we live in the desert? Yeah. And the next thing he opened was a pair of glasses that you put on, and if you hit your ball in the rough, you're supposed to be able to see the ball because it's supposed to glow. And he said, this is perfect. I'm going golfing with Pete in a couple days. He's not going to have to buy 12 balls next time.
I got a brother named Joe right there. He used to like to fight every day. I didn't really want to fight. It was a Vietnamer, and I was kind of like passive aggressive, but he didn't pay attention to that. He wanted to fight somebody every day. So I remember one time as a kid, he was fighting somebody in the front yard. This kid he was probably about 10 or 11, and he had a friend. Well, this guy wasn't really his friend, he fighting him a lot. And this guy was beating Joe up. And my dad come home, he wasn't going to have that. This kid had a real heavy bicycle, and I remember my dad coming home and seeing that, and he just picked up this kid's bicycle, threw it at the kid, and he just started backing up. And the kid was through after that. I've never seen a kid come around.
Sometimes Shirley cleans our house for us. Jerry liked the job that she did so well. He really liked Shirley. The kids were teasing him about, well, that's second wife right there. That's going to be your stepmother.
Some of you guys remember me, some of you guys don't. That's probably because I was a little kid at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and we didn't really talk about that. I wasn't really running around and breaking it. I just want to say thanks to all my aunts and uncles, Grandma and Grandpa's family, cousins, fun times we had. It was really fun, especially the house when we were down getting in trouble. Of course we didn't break anything. Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody for everything you've done, especially for my mom and myself. You guys are amazing people. Feel great to be a part of the family. And right away. And this is Leo and Kelly. Oh, great, you know. Family immediately. It was awesome. It was awesome. I love each and every one of you guys. You guys are an awesome family. And Grandpa's cookies are amazing. That's all I want to say.
When Madison, my daughter, who's 24, was little, we came and visited. She was an infant. And Mom wanted to go to the bank, and she said, do you want to go to the bank? And I'm not allowed to pack all this stuff, because, you know, the littler the child, the bigger their stuff. So, and Dad went, I raised 9 kids, I can watch while you go to the bank. I'm like, okay. You know, he was on working at my job, so okay. So, we left. Madison with my dad. We were gone 20 minutes. When we came back, my dad had her like a football underneath his arm, the diaper bag in the other arm, walking away from Betty Payne, Mike and Mark's mom. She's leaning against the post, laughing her head off, and we're like, what were you doing over at Betty's? Well, she pooped. I don't change poopy diapers. So he walked over, and Betty so graciously changed her diaper and was laughing her head off because, you know, she was wonderful. But Dad was so funny. He raised 9 kids, but he doesn't change poopy diapers. I just thought that.
I just kind of want to give you an insight. You know, we're talking about Jerry's dad today, but also it's kind of like, you know, I see all you guys are Rugers and stuff. I'm just a friend here, but you know, kind of a measure of what the word Ruger means. And my story goes back about 10 years. I've been very, very fortunate in life. You know, as we all know, ups and downs. About 10 years ago, my wife got cancer. Very unexpected, very surprised. I had an 8-year-old daughter. I was living in Anaheim. I was away from my parents. You know, things move very quickly when someone gets sick like that. And one of the things we need to do was I need to find a way that I could get to my house or my family. My family was about 5-10 miles away. And I could see all the things that were going to happen with the illness. And I was working at Chevron full-time. Luckily, the guy next door to my parents' house, right next door, had a house. Said, take this house. You know, no one been in 2 years. Take this house. You can have it, just whatever it takes. And I only met the guy once or twice. And, you know, I just went and talked to him, which is kind of one of these strokes of luck. Jerry found out about it. This Jerry here found out about it. Within about 3 or 4 days, not only does Jerry have himself, his dad, and Uncle Lyle over there out for the house, they completely took a house that was basically not trash, but sure as hell worn inside. In typical fashion, what I call Ruger fashion, did that thing over top to bottom, a #1 paint job. And I mean, they didn't spare anything in doing the job. Didn't take any money. You know, thank yous will never be enough. Because what it did for me is, the time I had off for the company, when my wife was basically done being ill, passed away, I came home and myself and my 8-year-old daughter had a house that was basically a foundation. Without the 3 of them creating that foundation, God only knows what I would have done. You know, all you guys as Rugers, that's what Ruger means. It's not just the one man. It's something that somehow all you would connect to, or that magic, whatever that special thing is. Ruger means a lot. You know, it really does. So, I'm sorry for your loss, and I think you all should be damn proud of the Rugers. It's a great, great family.
Well, this is about my brother and the grandpa, because I'm the one telling it because Zachary has a horrible memory. So, what happened was, before they moved here, Zachary, when he was really little, he used to eat dog biscuits. So, and what happened was, so Grandpa sees him eating dog biscuits, and he's like, Zachary! And you see Zachary, he's like, what are you eating? He's hiding the dog biscuit behind his back, and he's like, nothing.
And I just want to extend my thanks for all the prayers and everybody being so supportive of us. This has obviously been very difficult. But I love how we have all these great memories and that we can laugh, because that's what Dad would want. He would want this in the worst way. So I'm so glad that everyone's here, and thank you for the people I haven't met and all these great stories. I'm just taking it all in, and I can probably speak for all my siblings. We appreciate this so much, and my mom. So thank you so much for everything.